What is up, everyone? Happy Sunday. Is your favorite Buck fan on Twitch, Sammy33. This will be a relatively short video because I'm getting off work and I need to go to sleep. So I'm posting this before I sleep because I just have a feeling I'm not going to wake up in a decent amount of time. So I wanted to get into Brady Breeze, Bucs Saints Part 3 this year. Do the Bucs have a chance to beat a team that has thoroughly dominated them? Thoroughly dominated them twice. Let's talk Bucs. This is going to be one of those times I'm going to have to say probably not. But as in we know in football, any given Sunday, the Jets beat the Rams, the Jets beat the Browns just beat the Steelers. Anything is possible, to quote Kevin Garnett, Mr. KG, future Hall of Fame. Or is he in the Hall? No, I don't remember. He's a Celtic, I don't care. There are some things the Bucs have to do if they want a chance to win this game. So let's start with the quarterbacks. Because everyone wants to talk about it's the matchup, Brady and Breeze. It's not, but I just want to address this since everyone wants to talk about it. Brady, 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions against the Saints. But everyone says, oh, let's throw out week 1 because it doesn't matter. They didn't have a practice. Saints also really didn't have Michael Thomas. They also didn't have Michael Thomas the second time. And guess what? Breeze on the season, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the Bucs. We all know what happened on Sunday Night Football. It was for the world to see. The Saints exerted their dominance against the Bucs. Now, in the past, Breeze has been kind of sloppy in the playoffs. If you looked at last week's game against the Bears, that offense wasn't exactly humming. But that is the right reason that I don't feel confident going into the matchup. It's not the Saints offense, though. They have clearly dominated Todd Bowles. We can take Brady out the equation for just a second. Todd Bowles is 0-4 against Sean Payton and Drew Brees. And why is that? Because they don't get pressure. Now, there is a stat that I wanted to cue because I saw it and I'm like, this is a really interesting stat, and it goes into what I think the Bucs have to do. So let me pull it up real quick. The Saints, Drew Brees, his completion percentage drops from 74%. Think about this, from 74, which is damn near automatic, to 57.6, which is still good, but is not 74% when both corners are pressed. If you watch the first game, and I've watched both games 5 times because I wanted to get kind of a deeper dive into what these two teams do against each other. Defensively, number 1. This is going to be tough, and I'm not sure it's going to work, but at this point, what do you have left to lose? When they press on the outside, again, just think about this schematically. When you press, it forces the receivers to have to work harder to get open, and it gives 2 things. 1, it throws off the timing of the offense, so it forces the quarterback to hold on to the ball a little longer, which in turn gives the defensive front more time to get to the quarterback. And that's what it's going to be about today. The secondary is the weakness of the Bucs defense. They have got to get pressure. I'm not saying sacks. You have to get around Breeze. You have to disrupt his rhythm, get your hands up in the passing lane, knock balls down. But the problem is, when you press, that means you have Michael Thomas one-on-one against Carlton Davis. Davis has to win. Davis is going to play. I have no reason to believe otherwise. More importantly, Kamara coming out the backfield becomes extremely dangerous. If you look at past matchups, aka last year, and I'm not saying 2020, but last season, Bucs Saints, this is where Kamara did his most damage, coming out the backfield, wheel routes, angle routes out the backfield. He becomes even more dangerous because it's one-on-one coverage. Screen game becomes more dangerous, and the Bucs do not defend the screen well. So it puts a lot of pressure on Levante David and Devin White, who Devin White is not a great guy in coverage, to have to make one-on-one plays against one of the better backs in the NFL. Scary. The problem is when you play zone, as you saw in the second matchup, Breeze shredded the Bucs defense. Zone is not going to work. truthfully, press man isn't going to work. As it is, when you face these elite quarterbacks, you have to mix and match. You have to try to confuse them. They've seen everything. You have to just throw different stuff out there and try to catch them off guard. But ultimately, if the Bucs want any chance of winning this game, everyone is looking at the offense. It's the defense. The defense has got to keep them in the game. The Saints have one turnover against the Bucs this season. It was a fumble. Jared Cook, I believe it was inside the 5-yard line too. The Bucs still couldn't do anything with it. You have to force turnovers. This can't be a game where we go without getting turnovers. You have to find a way to get extra possessions and just general stops for the Saints. 2, we're going to focus back on the Bucs offense for a minute because I know everyone wants to talk about it. I mean, I've seen it in the chat. Well, the first matchup didn't matter because it was a new offense for Brady. Well, the second matchup didn't matter because it was Antonio Brown's, debuting for the Bucs. He plays a big factor in this game. But let's not discount the Saints defense. And I think this is the other thing that gets forgotten. Davenport, Cam Jordan, Rankins up front. I forget the other defensive tackle escapes my mind right now. They can get pressure with 4. And this is historically one of the things that causes the most problems for Brady. When you can get pressure with 4 and drop 7, those windows get tighter. It takes longer for receivers to get open, which puts an emphasis on play calling, and it ultimately puts emphasis on our offensive line. And that is another issue. Like this matchup is so key. This is the most important matchup on the offensive side of the ball. Smith, Wirfs have got to have their best games. Smith had a great game against Young last week. It's a tall order this week dealing with Davenport and Jordan, but the ends have got to make it happen. They have to handle the pressure outside. Up front, you guys just have to find a way to keep out the interior pass rush, and that is something that the Saints have done really well this season against the Bucs in general, but against the Bucs, they've gotten pressure up the middle and from the edge. So it's not like it's just, the up the middle is the one that hurts the most, but then they're getting it from the outside too. Like, what are you supposed to do? Brady pressured. Like I said before, 2 TDs, 5 picks, a lot of errant throws because of the pressure, overthrows, short throws. You can't have that happen. You have got to give them time. And the reason that this becomes trouble is because you have Lattimore, who's going to shadow Evans, and he is the kryptonite to Evans. So I'm glad Evans is playing, but I don't expect him to make a big impact. We'll take anything we can get out of him, but historically he struggles against Lattimore, and I can understand why. Jackrabbit on the other side, and who does he match up with? Is he going to match up with Godwin? He's going to match up with Antonio Brown. Who he does not match up with is the important mismatch. That player has to win. Something tells me it's going to be Antonio Brown. They're going to get him in the slot more. Scotty Miller in the slot for big plays. They got to have him. Malcolm Jenkins as a safety. I have to look at the other safeties. I forgot. This is bad. Williams. How could I forget? Like, I should know them by now. I've seen them dominate us so much over the last handful of days watching the tape. Their secondary is very good. So everyone talks about the Bucs have so many receivers, they have so many weapons. And then you add Demario Davis as a linebacker. It's not going to be easy to pass the football. This is a game that I wish we really had O.J. Howard. But there is one thing that the Bucs can do to help out all of this. And it's something that they don't do well. Something that they have not done well against the Saints and in general this season. That's the screen game. It looked good against Washington, but it has not been something that the Bucs have been able to do well. If they can hit some screens, it helps slow down that pass rush. That should help out Tom. The other thing is running the ball in play action. If you remember, the announcers kept talking about it. 4. I do not count Daniil. 4 rushes by Ronald Jones, who we expect to play. It'll be a game time decision. 4. You are not winning any football games when you run the ball 4 times. I know they got behind, but you can't abandon the run game. They have got to find a way to get the run game going early. If for nothing else, to take potential pass attempts away from Tom, less pressure opportunities for the Saints, but more importantly, the play action. Hold those linebackers, open up those second window throws, give an opportunity to receivers to make big plays. in the pass game, and also your tight ends, Gronk and Break, give them opportunities to hit plays outside and over the middle of the field. The play action is so important. The Bucs, when running play action post Saints game 2, one of the better play action passing attempts in terms of completion percentage and yards per play action attempt, one of the highest in the league. Also, something to keep in mind, I would like to see this more. Now, I just said they run the ball. They need to run the ball. They need to screen. So running backs are important, but there's also something else that's important. The Bucs passing the ball on first down. You say, why does that matter? The Bucs offense is 8 points more productive per game when they pass the ball on first down. Why would you pass the ball on first down, you ask? You want to get yourself an opportunity to, as they say, stay on schedule. For those of you that don't know what that means pick up 3 yards on first, 3 yards on second, third and manageable. The odds are it just opens up your whole playbook. I would say the odds are that you're gonna complete or convert third down. You're more likely to convert third and fourth and third and 10. Problem is with the Bucs, they run the ball on first down a lot in the past, and it's like, well, everyone expects you to run the ball, so you get nothing. So now it's 2nd and 10, and you're forced to pass twice. The rush is set free. When you pass on first down, the whole playbook is open to you. Long plays, short plays, it doesn't matter. It also affects the personnel that's on the field. Checking down to the running back is viable. This helps for the run game. Screen passes to your receivers, viable, helps for the run game. But it implies that you're more likely to get yards as opposed to the Bucs, who have not been a good first down running team. After the bye week, they have been passing the ball more on first down. The offense has been more efficient, more points in the red zone. Not that that necessarily matters, but more points in the red zone since, and more importantly, their third down conversion has been higher, probably because they are in more manageable situations. That's the other thing. The red zone, kind of mentioned it. It's important that they score touchdowns if and when they get there. 6 is much more valuable than 3, especially when you don't have a lot of confidence in your defense. And then the last thing, and I'll leave it here. I just said every reason why you shouldn't believe the Bucs are going to win and what they have to do in order to win. But there is one other element that I have not touched. I won't touch kicking. I know that Will has struggled a little bit for the Saints recently. I'm not going to account for kicking. I'm a Bucs fan. I know better. Coaching. Todd Bowles and Bruce. You are both 0-4 against Sean Payton. That makes me think that Sean Payton is much more better at preparing for your schemes than you are against his. This has to be a game where our coaching has to matter. We have the players. They have the players. They obviously have been coached up. Payton does a great job of preparing the offensive game plan. Allen on the defensive side of the ball. This has to be a game where I can look at Todd and say, you have learned. You're adjusting. Bruce and Tom combined, you have learned, you're adjusting. Coaching has to matter for Tampa Bay to win this game, because I feel like in the past it's more players. Though, you're still putting them in position to make things happen. I need Todd Bowles to be more creative defensively. I need him to just trust, to send White more than you usually would. You have to get pressure. Be creative in how you get pressure and put your secondary in situations where they aren't guessing zone. It can make an impact on this game. Offensively, Bruce, Leftwich, come up with a game plan that is going to help expose a flaw. I don't know where it is, but try to find one in the Saints defense. Saints defense is really, really good. I think that is the thing that has really made me not feel comfortable about this matchup. Bucs offense is good, Saints offense is good, and they're going to have Michael Thomas back and healthy. Saints defense is good. Bucs defense can be good, but it hasn't been consistently. I mean, they just gave up 300 yards to some guy off the street, Taylor Heineke. So they got to make it happen. That said, I'm going to be objective. This is what I tell you all. I pick with my brain. I don't pick with my heart. My heart, of course, is going to root for the Bucs, and I'm still going to be watching and rooting for Tampa Bay to win the game. I would never root against my team in any situation. I always root for Tampa Bay to win. The Saints are a bad matchup for the Bucs. Though I do expect this game to be closer, I still think the Saints are going to win. So I have the Saints winning a lower scoring game. I'll say 27-17. They get a late score to make it a two-score game, and that's it. The Bucs offense still struggles. We'll see. Tom, Brown, Brown, between Brown and Godwin, I'm hoping one of you can have a big game, and obviously if the run game gets going, I think that helps out the offense as a whole a lot. That said, enjoy the game. Enjoy Chiefs Browns earlier today. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to post it. Regardless, enjoy the football. Hope you all have enjoyed the divisional round thus far. Hopefully, it will end with a good, close game, not another ass whooping. Have a good one. Go Bucs.